Alright, I'm going to make a set of Stratocaster pickups. Making a vintage set from 1956 to 1961. I'm going to match everything vintage period correct. So these are the bobbins, forbon bobbins, vintage material, and I'm going to be using this. This is a heavy formvar wire. In fact, this is a vintage spool. You can see the age on it. This is old stock. It's around 40 years old. So these are going to be about as vintage a set as you could get. Anyway, that's the magnet wire that I'm going to be using. These are the magnets that I'm going to be using. 0.187 diameter. I'm going to do a vintage stagger. So they're going to be all period correct when I'm done with it. Hopefully they'll sound fantastic. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So I've got this one almost assembled. I just do it by hand with a hammer. And I just got the top on here. I'm going to show you how I finish it off, so you get an idea how these go together. These are a couple of spacers that are exactly the right width. I'm going to insert them into the bobbin here. Just remove the spacers, and there you go. How well you can see it. The stagger. Turn around this way. Alright. That's one. I gotta do two more. Now this I'm going to dip in lacquer and let it dry before I wind it. So I have to do all three of these before I can do that. So I'll come back. Alright, I'm going to start out connecting the start lead of the copper wire to the eyelet here in the bobbin. And this is very delicate, but what we're going to do is get a few wraps on here. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to put it on my winder. Give it some winds. Alright, I've attached the bobbin to the winder. And then I've given it a few turns by hand to get it started. And this way I can adjust my set screws here for the bobbin width, which I've already done. So now we're ready to get started. I'm going to start off really slow just to get a feel for the wire. Now this is a heavy build formvar coating on the copper wire, and it's a lot easier to break than your normal poly wire, because it's really bumpy when it goes through your fingers. You can really feel it catching. And it's pretty easy. break the wire. So I'm going to go for around 8,000 turns here. Try not to break it. So this heavy build formvar will make a larger coil because it's got a thicker diameter because of the coating that's on it, and it tends to make a brighter sound than a single layer, like a single poly nylon. Will make a darker tone than this heavy build formvar, but you can't get as many wraps around a coil, so you get a lower output. Depending on the sound you're looking for. Okay, I'm up to 2,200 whines. Take a look at the coil. Alright. It's coming along pretty good. Come back when I'm done this coil. Alright, I got the coil all wound. This is the neck pickup. And by the way, the magnets are south polarity, facing up, if anyone's interested. Now I have to connect the finish lead into this eyelet right here. Right, you can see where I've got the start, which is going to be the ground, and then the finish is going to be the white wire. Alright, I'm going to check it on the meter. This is the neck. I'm looking for about 5.8. I got 5.83. Perfect. Alright, time to solder on the leads. So the black is going to be the start wire. Alright. I'm using this vintage cloth pre-tinned pushback. Exactly the same wire that Fender always used. Okay, on my winder now, I've got the middle. This is the middle pickup, and if you want to get the hum canceling effect in the 2 and the 4 position on your Strat, you'll need to wind this coil in the opposite direction and reverse the poles on the magnets. Here I've got north magnets, and I'm winding counterclockwise. So this is the middle pickup. Alright, here's some pickups ready to be potted. This is another Strat set I made. Here's some PAFs, and then the set I just made, the vintage set. See the staggered. Anyway, about to throw these in the wax pot. Alright, time for the wax pot. So here's my wax pot. It's actually a hide glue pot. But anyway, this is my thermometer. I'm going to keep it around 150 degrees, a little less. Otherwise you can warp the bobbin. Anyway, so what we're going to do, get rid of this. Alright, we're going to dip it in the wax. Hanging it off this rail right here. There we go. So what we'll do is we're going to leave it in there till it stops bubbling. There's little air bubbles that come up from the wax. When the bubbles stop, that means the wax is fully penetrated all the way through the bobbin. And it's going to take about 15 minutes. And I'll do that to all 3 bobbins. And the set will be good to go. Alright, I've got all 3 in here. Hopefully you can see that. You can see the bubbles coming out. About 15 minutes. I'll take them out, wipe them off. They're good to go. Time's up in the glue pot, or I should say the wax pot. Alright, they've been in here about I don't know, 25 minutes or so. Just going to take them out, put them on a paper towel or a napkin, and wipe them down gently. They're really hot, so you gotta be careful. You can let them cool down a little bit, but you want to get the wax wiped off while the pickup's hot.